The deep void scanner aboard the ISS Relentless had seen many things in its 11 years of service: neutron star bursts, collapsing asteroid fields, the ghostly thermal signatures of dead alien ships drifting through the dark between galaxies. But it had never once screamed. Tonight, it screamed. Ethan Cross was halfway through his third cup of terrible synthetic coffee when the alarm tore through the bridge like a blade. He set the mug down without spilling a drop, old soldier's reflex, and was at the scanner console in 4 steps. Life sign, he murmured, reading the data. Class 7 plasma biology. Deep inside the Varith exclusion zone. He pulled up the coordinates. The exclusion zone. A graveyard of broken empires and forbidden science, cordoned off by every major galactic civilization for 300 years. No sane species went in. None came out. Ethan Cross was not, by any reasonable definition, sane. He was, however, very good at not dying. Set course, he said. Sir, his navigation AI responded carefully. The Varith exclusion zone is classified as. I know what it's classified as. Set. The. Course. A pause. Then, course set. ETA, 47 minutes. Ethan finished his coffee. Part 1, Into the Fire. The exclusion zone looked exactly like what it was, a place where something catastrophic had happened and the universe had never quite forgiven itself for it. Shattered planetoids hung in lazy, ancient orbit around a dim red star. Radiation fog drifted like the breath of something enormous and half alive. Ethan's ship cut through it all with stubborn, human-engineered confidence. The signal grew stronger as he descended toward the largest fragment, a jagged rock, maybe 30 kilometers across, wrapped in a thin toxic atmosphere. He suited up alone. No crew. The Relentless was a solo-run scout vessel, built for exactly one stubborn human who preferred the company of stars to the company of people. He checked his plasma shield emitters, his oxygen recycler, his emergency beacon. Then he checked them again. Then a third time. Measure twice, cut once. His grandmother had said that about sewing. It applied equally well to not dying on alien rocks. He landed the ship on a flat shelf of black stone and walked out into the dark. The signal led him down through cracked tunnels of ancient rock, past walls that glowed faintly with embedded crystal veins, deeper and deeper into the belly of the dead world. His boots crunched on mineral deposits that sparkled like crushed stars. The air his suit processed smelled, the sensors told him, of ozone and something close to cinnamon. Then he heard the sound. Not a distress beacon. Not a signal pulse. A voice. Low. Resonant. Like distant thunder deciding to become language. It was singing. Part 2, Lady Seraphix. She was enormous. Ethan had known, intellectually, what a Class 7 plasma biology lifeform was. He had read the xenobiology files. He knew the theoretical dimensions, the biological architecture, the chemical composition of their internal fire glands. Reading about it and standing in front of it were 2 entirely different experiences. Lady Seraphix was somewhere between woman and dragon, and entirely neither. She stood perhaps 4 meters tall, her form humanoid from the waist up, 2 arms, a head, a torso, but scaled in iridescent plates of deep crimson and gold that shifted color as she breathed. Her wings were folded tight against her back, pinned there by a lattice of black metal restraints that crackled with suppression energy. Her tail, long, powerful, tipped with a ridge of golden spines, lay limp on the stone floor. Her eyes, when they opened and found him, were the color of molten copper. Ancient. Exhausted. And absolutely, unmistakably, intelligent. She stopped singing. A human, she said. Her voice filled the cavern like warm smoke. Of all the species in the living galaxy, a human comes for me. I must have done something terrible in a past life. Nice to meet you too, Ethan said. Those restraints look painful. They are suppressing my core fire. A pause. If I cannot generate heat, I cannot regulate my biology. I have been here for, she paused again, something flickering behind those copper eyes. 11 of your years. 11 years. Ethan felt something cold move through him that had nothing to do with the temperature. Who put you here? He asked. The Keth Dominion. They wanted my fire. Her lip curled, and even exhausted, even restrained, the expression carried the ghost of something regal and dangerous. I refused to give it. Ethan had heard of the Keth Dominion. Most of the galaxy had, in the same way most people had heard of plagues and supernovas. A civilization built on extraction, on taking power from other beings and burning through it without conscience. He walked toward the restraints. Human. Her voice sharpened. Those locks are Keth forged. Quantum bonded. Your technology cannot. He pulled a small device from his belt. It was, to the untrained eye, completely unremarkable. A rectangular block of matte gray metal with a single activation stud. This, Ethan said, is a graviton spike. We invented it about 6 years ago. Collapses localized quantum bonds within a 15-centimeter radius. He studied the restraint lattice. Took us a while to figure out the Keth were using quantum-bonded alloys. Once we did. He found the primary junction point of the lattice. Took about 4 months to engineer around it. Humans have been studying Keth technology? Humans have been studying everything. He pressed the spike against the junction. It's kind of our thing. He activated it. The restraint lattice shattered like frozen glass. Piece by piece, the suppression emitters fell dark and died. The black metal collapsed to the cave floor in fragments. And Lady Seraphix exhaled. The fire that poured from her was not destructive, it was alive. Gold and crimson light flooded the cavern. Heat washed over Ethan in a wave and his suit's thermal regulators kicked in with an urgent chime, but he held his ground and watched as the great dragon woman straightened, as her wings unfolded, slowly, painfully, then with growing power, as her scales brightened from dull exhaustion to blazing, brilliant life. She rose to her full height and looked down at him. The silence lasted a long moment. You are very small, she said at last. I get that a lot. And yet you came here. Into the exclusion zone. Alone. To rescue a being you had never met, of a species you had no obligation to. Ethan shrugged. The scanner found a life sign. You were alive. That was enough. Another silence. Then, quietly, and Ethan had the distinct impression that quietly was not something Lady Seraphix did often, she said. Why? He thought about it honestly. Thought about what he'd been taught, what he believed, what 11 years of solo scouting the dark edges of a dangerous galaxy had burned into him. Because someone had to, he said. And I was the one who showed up. Part 3: What Humans Leave Behind. They left the exclusion zone together, his small, battered scout ship and the vast, blazing wingspan of Lady Seraphix flying alongside it, fire trailing from her like a comet's tail as her biology fully restored itself. When they broke into clear space, she hovered alongside his cockpit window and he looked out at her, this ancient and magnificent being, alive again after 11 years of slow dying in the dark. The Keth Dominion will not be pleased, she said, her voice carrying through his calms. No, he agreed, they won't. They will come for you. They'll try. She studied him. You do not seem afraid. I'm terrified, Ethan said simply. But that's never been a reason not to do something. A long pause. Then, slowly, Lady Seraphix laughed, a sound like a thunderstorm deciding it was also beautiful. I have lived for 4,000 years, she said. I have met emperors and gods and things older than your star. And I tell you truly, Ethan Cross's humans are the strangest, most infuriating, most magnificent creatures the universe has ever made the mistake of producing. He grinned. We try. The Keth Dominion has enslaved 17 species across 6 star systems. Her voice dropped into something ancient and certain and warm. They have never faced a human who knew it. She spread her wings wide against the stars, and the fire that poured from her lit up the dark like a second sun. They do not yet understand what you have started here today. Ethan Cross set his course into the deep and did not look back. Behind him, the dragon woman flew, and the galaxy quietly, slowly, began to change. Humanity prevails.